who decides what empowerment means for Afghan women?
We have to be awake of our situation. Yeah.
And it's very scary.
Very scary.
Yeah. You've been in the situation, the way you've explained it put fear in me right now.
But let me then tell you the next arrival of Taliban. That gave me another.
I don't think anybody else would have actually been doing this. This, to me, it feels like from a movie. You know, we've seen this in movies.
I'm in development arena for 30 years. Yeah. So I'm very old. Not very old. I'm young.
Yes, you are.
But in terms of my work. Until the Taliban came, because they were connected with the Taliban, my God, I was chased everywhere I was going with the UN car. And then I didn't come out of the office too much. Your passport will be blocked. We will chase you up every day. So all of a sudden, they went to the neck and they pressed and pressed and pressed that he was bleeding.
One day, I was searching for a school that wasn't just a place to study, but a place where I could grow, learn new things, and make a difference in people's lives. Rahela School was exactly what I was looking for. When I joined this school, I realized that it wasn't just about lessons and exams. There were various programs that prepared the students for real life. Alongside my studies, I participated in social, cultural, and educational activities, learning something new every day. But where did my interest in working with people come from? Maybe from the moment I saw how helping others could bring a smile to their faces. I understood that making a difference in people's lives is not just a duty, but a motivation and a goal that gives me a sense of fulfillment. Why did I choose Rahela and Rahela Trust? Because there is a big difference here. Learning is not just about academics. It's about understanding how to be a useful and impactful person. For me, Rahela is not just a school, it's a path to the future I want to create.
In the 11th grade at Rahela School with support from the Malala Fund, I aspire to complete my education and continue learning in a way that empowers me. But unfortunately, I face challenges you may have not encountered, and I'm not able to do and continue my education as you did. My hope is to become a skilled doctor and provide medical assistance to those injured in wars, helping to help their ones and alleviate their suffering. You know, the impact of lack of education is significant. It affects not only girls like me in Afghanistan, but also our global community.
Everyone, welcome to Raw Talk with Sarosh, where we strip off the layers and talk about the real. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Today's guest is someone who has dedicated her life for uplifting the Afghan communities with particular focus on empowering Afghan women. She's the founder of Rahela Trust and the founder of GRAD and Umaid International. She previously was a senior advisor for the Independent Administrative Reform and Civil Service Commission of Afghanistan, where she developed and led reforms. And she has worked for various other international and governmental organizations. I would like to welcome Rahela Siddiqui. Thank you very much for coming on my show. It's a real honor to have you.
Thank you, Surojan, and thank you for inviting to your very good podcast program. You elaborated very well about my career. My main focus is education, women's education in Afghanistan, to advance women's educations. And there's skills as well in Afghanistan. That's why our program is education at the secondary level and higher education and mentoring as well. So that's basically like very brief introduction of the program. Myself, my background is I'm actually development expert, and I believe that ownership of the community and the people and the ownership of the process of their development is key for them to be part of the decision making and to be part of the development process and the governance building of their countries. So therefore, I'm trying to see from different angles that how community engagement and the people engagement can be done in a way that the capability and with the result and with the kindness, with the passions, with the sincerity, with the honesty, with transparency. So the principles of life is that we have to really consider all these angles of life when you do something. So that is basically what I'm trying to do. We are working throughout Afghanistan actually, and in this time it's online. But I would ensure my people that that doesn't mean that the quality get down or low. It is still with the same quality because we are trying to see the same standard of previous systems of education, like 6 hours a day and 6 days a week they are studying at the secondary level. And at the university level as well, the same curriculums that they are studying, and more than before, the lecturers and the universities are very, very helpful to women to consider their education. It's also not about their education, it is how they will use their knowledge and skills. And we are also trying to consider a credential, like the degree that they obtained degree after they finished their university. Having known the present situations of that they are not able to get, but we are trying to get in touch with regional countries, universities, and also schools. We come to some agreement with some regional countries to get degree for our graduated students of high school, and as well as for the universities.
Awesome. I would like to actually let all my viewers know that I'm going to add all the links and the website links to her amazing work and her biography as well, for anyone that wants to know more about her amazing work, down in the description, where you can visit and read more. Thank you very much. You talked about giving ownership
Yes.
to the community.
Yeah.
I think it's really key, because if you give the ownership of the role to the community, then they feel a sense of responsibility and they feel included in the work that's being done, and that motivates them, rather than doing everything yourself, setting all the plans yourself, implementing them as well, and then telling them or dictating them what to do. That might actually seclude them. It might actually mean that they may feel that they're being excluded from the work.
Absolutely.
And that's really key. And that happens everywhere, not only in the government, but also, for example, from the very beginning, when a person wants to start a business.
Not only
directors of a company, when they want to make a rule for the company, they want to include all the employees, have their views. And I think that's also how a democratic leadership should be, isn't it?
Perfect.
Yes, very true. It's not only in Afghanistan, and I would say it is the practice of getting the ownership through the process of development of someone else or some other organizations, then the actual real people that they need to take responsibility of their process of development. This practice it's not only in Afghanistan, but it's in many other practices and countries as well. This question is also to myself and to the other development workers.
And as an expert in development process, I always question myself that do I really see the ownership of the people? Do I really see that the transparency and the taking responsibility is by them? Do I really see that they make decisions and they are engaged in the decision making? So these questions comes always, and that's why the young generation of today that I'm working with, honestly, they are different characters.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's leaders, at least those numbers who have been trained and have been educated, will be different. And that's why I'm always saying that education is good, but different approach for education to give responsibility to the people. The young generation, they have to know that they have to give back to their community in return. So that is the skills that they need to learn. That what is their responsibility? Are they going to be only the physics teachers? No. They have to understand that, okay, my responsibility beside being a physics teacher, that how I behave with my students, how my student understand that his or her skills to be transferred to the area that she lives.
Mm.
Now, coming to the area that she lives, she has to know that my contribution in my family and around my environment will definitely impact the process of socioeconomic development of my country.
Amazing.
And the principles that I have to consider as a young generation is also that I have to treat people with kindness, with sincerity. And I have to feel responsibility that I have to do my job with quality.
Yeah.
And I have to look to the result of my work from here. Before I'm doing it, I have to see that what pictures I wanted to see, what result I wanted to see. That's why we need to, when you talk education, education is a very big topic. It's not only school books. It's not only university subjects. It's a comprehensive process of education that gave people ownerships and understand their role and responsibility. I had written an article, you were there, but unfortunately the time that I was presenting my article, you were not there. I have actually introduced the theory of change, that the development, and the moderator was the Cambridge University professors.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling me that the article is very interesting and it is Rahela that needs to be further developed. I said, yes, I still have so many questions to myself because paper only is not enough. Your practice, your actions to put the theory in practice, that is where we need to work hard. But I'm open to explain my article in any academic arena and to take your questions. But still, I have many questions to myself and to other development actors as well. So, John, one is the inside Afghanistan. We have to also see how we can educate our community here. And I'm very interested in your opinion in terms of understanding charity and supporting charity. And also the very other important aspects of our life is that to see that how our refugees are managing here their life and how we can help them not to forget their cultures with substantive approach. We don't only have entertainment, we have so many other aspects of our life cultures that we have to see really in each aspect that what can we do to revive it? What can we do to bring it up? What can we do to build the solidarity in actions? What can we do to really see that it's not only my job, it's a collective responsibility. It's not only Rahela.
I was speaking with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and this being the age and the era of business, people are, I think there is this, it's being developed in a way, this trend that people are trying to move away from education. They're moving away from schooling and universities. They think that going to school may be important, to be able to read and write may be important, but university is not important. Because being the age of business, you have to, at the end of the day, make money, bring food to the table. That's what you need to learn, how to make money. Universities, they say, teach you how to be somebody who can help someone else run their business. Now, for example, I, being a chartered certified accountant, spent years of my life studying finance. Once I graduated, I went and worked for a company that was run by another person who owned it. So that's what the university prepared me for. University did not prepare me for bigger things. That's their argument. Do you think that maybe in the future, with the emergence of AI, that education and university are dying out? This trend is dying out.
In a way, the perspective of today's arena of development, in some part, it is that. This is one aspect. This is one aspect that people think that, oh, maybe education is not important. But we cannot generalize it. It's not in the mind and brain of every individual.
Yeah.
Probably, in my opinion, for example, I would say you take education in a way that it's also your perspective, your decisions, your opinion, your mentality, your approach, that how you use education. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Surujan is, for example, there's a possibility that Surujan will be having a wider pictures of the development rather than only the finance. The example that I would say that she introduced me a girl from Afghanistan that she was depressed and she was a very good artist, and she and I tried to see that how it can be really valued, her work. That was her initiative. So it's all about our own decision and basically our own approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is this perspective is there. But education is university. Education is also in today's technology and everything that there is. Sometimes also individual approach for having education without university is more than the university.
Yeah.
But it all depends how we can get this education. But education itself, I would say, always will be important.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Either if it is institutional, if it is not without an institution by myself, or if it is on collective approach with some others. There are so many approaches with getting education. But education itself is important and will be important.
Yeah. Where should we put more focus on? What form of education? What method of education? Whether that's homeschooling or the traditional way of going to a university physically and attend classes.
Yeah.
Do you think that we should move away from that, in particular in Afghanistan, where people are being hindered from, having access to education? Do you not think that it would be easier for them to maybe start homeschooling?
Yeah. As you said, it's always depend on where you are. And also generally, sometimes because of easiness of access and time management, sometimes this education, I mean remote education is important. For Afghanistan, I would say, it's more than any time it is important today. But in the future as well, especially for girls' education in Afghanistan, it is vital to consider, parallel to in-person education, the remote education for girls in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying this? Look, the girls who were yesterday had no access to education, the secondary education, because of the distance, that she was not able to come 3 kilometers to a high school, to secondary school, and the family was not allowing because of the situation, because of the fairness and insecurity. And today she is continuing her education through remote accessibilities of remote education. So we have to really see the chicken balance of what can help at what time, with what methodology, what approach. When we are talking about remote education, it's also important that we do not undermine the quality education.
Yeah.
Like the same aspect of teachers, trainers, teachers, approach of having in the class preparations, being in time in the class, and like our classmates classes. Sorry, they all have their each subject's sessions. Then they have problem-solving sessions. Then they have we have parent meetings. Then there is a tutorial program. Everything is like a highly standard systems. And luckily, our students, they are. I hope I would have possibility to help more, but our criteria is to only help excellence students, like over 80% of 3 years, they can enter to our school or to our university program scholarship.
What prerequisites or requirements do you have for a person that qualifies for entry into those universities or scholarships?
Yeah. So the first thing is we have application times like 2 months. We put advertisement, the announcement of the application. And in our application, there are so many criteria that I cannot so sophisticated. But what I said about the development, what I said about the ownership, what I said about their feeling responsibility, contributing back to the community, they are all in that applications.
Right. Okay.
So from the beginning, they know that they are not entering to only school to only study subjects of schools or university. They have to know that from the time that they enter to our school and university program, they have to give back to their community. And we gave them all the tools and techniques and mentor them and coach them throughout the process. You have seen, hopefully you have seen our scholars, 3 of our scholars, that they were one of the 3 of the researchers in these 3 thematic of the conference. And with very capability, and still some unfortunately have difficulties, but that doesn't mean that they lost their morale. They are contributing as equal as somebody from Cambridge University. So those are the criteria as well. When they first eligible to our criteria, that they should have their 3 years mark of A. They should also have their all documentations as an evidence. That's the first entry. And then once they eligible, then they will go through exams, 3 exams. Then after that, they will be accepted in conditions that the parents also committed to be supportive to them to continue their education.
And how do they find about these opportunities?
We announce through all these different channels that we have. Previously, it was very open.
Okay.
But now we are announcing through so many channels that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, moving back to the charity work, we know that in a world where charity is often seen as a beacon of hope, Afghan women's stories are both a badge of resilience and a playground for mixed agendas. We are always hearing about mentorship, scholarships, and global network being the key to progress. Now, who decides what empowerment means for Afghan women?
They should decide.
Mm.
See, that is the difference. They should decide that what empowerment means to them, what peace means to them. I said this several times in the different platforms. And we should also feel responsibilities as a mentor and as a coach, that what are the empowerment aspects, the definitions that she needs, she deserves, that we have to facilitate.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I always say to my colleagues that you are a facilitator. We are facilitator. We are facilitator of the process of development and building ownership among the young generations who we are working with. Empowerment by definitions, there are different types of definitions for empowerment. But to me, empowerment means if somebody has her own thinking that she can express, she uses her own capability, she feels that she's engaged in this decision-making process, yeah, and she practices what she has knowledge and skills in a way that she wanted to. There are so many others, but this is a very simple definition of the empowerment. What is very key to myself is to really see that if empowerment of today, of this young generation, have a result for tomorrow. That is for me then the empowerment that I want to see in those girls, for example. If she is, I am helping them to see that if they can be true future leaders and agent of change, wherever they are. That is what I wanted to see, their empowerment. And then tomorrow, I have seen, I'm in development arena for 30 years. Yeah? So I'm very old. Not very old. I'm young.
Yes, you are.
But in terms of my work. In the last 30 years that I have been working with the community, you can't imagine that somebody, a very talented young generation who didn't know that how much talent he has to be left up. And today he is the Oxford University lecturer, or Australia, one university, the big university in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody else who is a director, or somebody else who has a ownership of a big business. So they are in a very key academic arena. That is what I wanted to see. And that's why they are calling me Mother John, all of them. Because I have been working like my child with them. I never thought that this is somebody else's child. No, this is my country child. And this is my responsibility as a mother, to see each child of my country, that they deserve to be like my child, that they have privilege to have an educated family and to be here. And I had the privilege to be the masters of social development in this country. And I learned from my parents that I always have to help others. Whenever, like when I was child, that I have seen an old woman, and I was walking with my father. He said, "Bachim, can you take her bochagak hami chike khanam pir bud." So an old woman who was walking very weakly, and he told me that, can you take her?
Lift up the load.
Yeah. So that taught me so much, that, oh, I have to help because she's walking. I didn't know her. And the kindness that I learned from him, from my mother, was that always, whenever he was saying hello, he was just like, he'd never thought. He was a very designed person. My father was very elegant in terms of her dress and his dress and everything. He was opening his hand and saying hello, was casing room. Och میگه اینا was برادر کلان میگن دفعه میگفت که با پدر جان میگفت میره همین هر کس که باشه نسوارم که دانشم در بازی دو ما چی میکنم بسیارم و تو بغل کشی میکنم. For me that was a very good lesson, that no matter who I am, we are all human beings. The respect as a human being is the key for all of us. That is why we have to be kind in our practice, and it's also in Islam. If we go through the different version of Quran, it always says that provide services to your people, be good to your people, to my people. Yeah, if God tells us that be good to my people, be at the service of my people, then who I am not to do that? Yeah, be honest.
Don't you think, although you've been in this for a very, very long time, maybe it's a bit late to ask this question, but don't you think you have put yourself in the spotlight? These people are watching you, and they might actually say things which are not becoming of them to say about someone who has done so much service for the community. What message do you have for them?
I appreciate actually Africans, that they are everywhere, in development arena, in political arena, everywhere, and economic market. Why? Because I give you one example of my colleague I was working with UNHCR as a woman program officer, and he was working with the relief. I asked him that, Idris, how did you come to United Nations? He said, Rahela, I actually eat only carrot during the day because he was living in Germany, and I was trying to buy books and study, and therefore I didn't had enough money for my food, and I worked so hard, and that was my aim, to have the good job so that I help other Africans to get education, to be in my positions. That's why they are there. What my message is to my people, that first of all, the concept of the charity, what the systems that shows the transparent and give the organization leadership has the accountability to be responsive to any questions of the citizens. That should be assessed rather than being negative and say, I'm not contributing to charity. That's number one. Number two, I would say that our society here in London and in UK, there are so many very good people here that they never thought about the support through a systems, and they go like a piecemeal approach. Give food there, give food to that people, give food to those people, that's good. But they have to be very organized to also contribute to somewhere that there's a systems, and they are ensured that the people will really go to their people and to help them to stand on their own feet for tomorrow.
We need to teach them how to fish.
Exactly. So if today they are giving them fish, that's the philosophy of different people, and I don't blame them. But I would suggest, and my message to them is that we have to be awake of our situation. We have to really think one time more about our awakeness. That yes, we are helping to give food to the people. Yes, we are helping like one person that I have many, and I am helping one student or two students. We have to also think that how I can contribute to a systems that I assure that 300 will become 600, 600 will become 1,000, and this 1,000 are really the people that I believe that should be serving tomorrow's Afghanistan. That is where, as their assessment and knowledge and their investigation approach should be more increased about organizations, about charities, and they have to attend. If they don't attend, they don't know. If they don't read, they don't know that what is happening. And and I would suggest that, and I would beg to my people that please the perspective of a negative come out of the negative perspectives, that all charities are not good, or this is myself, myself, I'm just working for God.
Yeah.
I don't need any reward. I don't need any people appreciation, honestly. I'm appreciating that my people, like yourself, like community people, they are respecting and they are very much appreciating, and I don't deserve. I don't deserve. That's my responsibility as a human, as a God creator, that I came in this world, and tomorrow I'm going, and the time that I'm here, I want my journey to have a result, and to have something that I have gave to the people of the God. That's my journey. When I see the people are sometimes not supportive, I don't get disappointed.
Yeah, there is something about the Afghan diaspora, so people who have settled outside of Afghanistan due to the decades of war that has been ongoing in Afghanistan. There is a criticism that certain events, for example, have excluded young Afghan generation. We are more focused on bringing and speaking with or having conversation with people who are, who settled here from Afghanistan, but who are not, young. Basically, people who were born here, their children, they should be included in such events more, so that they could also understand what it means to extend any support you can in any way form to people in Afghanistan. Why are we excluding them?
I would say that, again, I'm coming back to education. You see, cultural aspect, as I said before, is not only our entertainment. I do have a lot of respect, and I really like entertainment as well. But I would say, as you suggested, young generation should be engaged in a way that they have interest. Identify their interest, and accordingly bring them to some event that, like
because
last night,
they won't connect unless they experience, because experience is the best connection they can get.
Exactly. Last night I give you example. I'm supporting communities in Nottingham, in Birmingham, in Sheffield, not yet the Sheffield, in Leeds. We are going to start, but right now we are in Birmingham, Nottingham, and Coventry. And last night I was invited to support them, the community, that they are our partners. I saw that group of our school, that language school. Oh my God, the girls and boys that they have learned the Tarone Mehanira. We will put it in our website, and you can see it, not website, the social media.
Yeah.
I suggested to them that good. The concert is there because of the Eid and Nowruz. This is very good. People are coming with their cultural dresses and so on and so forth. But can you do some creative approach of inviting your young generations that they have talent, one type of talent, for example, and give the toppest one award, and then so many of them will come. Do you see what I mean,
Yeah.
Sroja? So people will say that, okay, all the artists will come and the toppest artist will get the award. I say, don't give 1,000 certificate to 1,000 people at one time and exhaust yourself. Give one and to somebody who is the top of all, and then that will wake up the society, the young generations. And that tomorrow, I said, for example, do the competition. I said, I build your network with the different cities that I have, support them with the language. And then you can have a like maths match, like award to somebody who is the top finance person. No, with the distinction mark, he finished. And he has a very successful either job or company or whatever. Do something like this. Apart from your concerts, they liked it. They said that this was my last night message to the community in Nottingham. So engage them when I said complicity, because we are asking them, let's go with me. There's a concert. We all go there. So they are coming. That's good. But we have to find their talents, we have to talk to them, and we have to give them space to make together the youth, the young generation, their decision. My program is all for young generation. At the moment, I'm only supporting the girls, either in Afghanistan or here. The school here is, the language school is children from all, from boys and girls, they are there. But our specific program is more to advance and present intellectual women, like you have seen the last week conference, that all the very highly intellectual scholars, they come and they present their research papers, and this conference is on annual basis. This is what I really want them to get more interest about their countries. And then they have to really think, I'm working with them right now, that they have to think about the refugees, that they are younger generation than them, and work with them. And I can back up them and help them. But they have to generate the idea themselves and help. The space, if you do the space, create a space for them, as you said, then you're doing their job. No, yeah. I say to them, okay, can you manage this academic conference? I can help you. I guide them, of course. I mentor them. And each steps I mentor them. But they did everything themselves. You have seen that everybody was young generation. From managing the conference, from presenting the papers, from announcing the conference, moderating, everybody was young generation. So a space. Create a space for them, but give them responsibility to do the quality work, back up them.
Were you satisfied with the attendance, the number of people that turned out?
No, but that was a lesson learned, because we did it during the working days. We know our Afghans, that they are having work and they are not able to come, and I don't blame them. So that's a good lesson learned for myself, because last time when I did it in a weekend, there were around 70. All young generation were there in our 2019 conference. So I thought that the working days, because it's Eid, and some young generation, they suggested me that do it in 2nd April. 2nd April will be good, because the first day of Eid, people will not come. And the 3rd day of the Eid, the people will come. But I was always doing it at the weekend.
Right.
But I will go back to the weekend, and I said to my trustee today as well, I said that there was a lot of, they were praising a lot. They were saying that program was good. Content, because the content was good.
That was definitely good.
Yeah.
What is that one moment? Did you ever have that moment when you felt, or somebody made you feel, that maybe you shouldn't be doing this, or that made you completely disappointed, and you thought, I shouldn't be doing this anymore?
No, never.
No.
No, not myself. No. No, for me, when I made my goal in my life, nobody gonna stop me except God. No.
Wonderful. Excellent. When was that moment when you actually thought that your work wasn't really making an impact?
First of all, we have to understand the social fabric of our own country. It's not easy environment.
Yeah.
And especially with all these political change. Yeah. Like I can give you one very clear examples that when I was in Afghanistan and working with so many of women, this young generation, at that time I was working with men and women, but young women was leading the process. I was helping them. And it was 1997. General Malik was one of the Minister of Foreign Affairs at the time in Afghanistan and in the north of Afghanistan, and I was refugee in North Afghanistan, displaced because of the lots of bomb and rocket in Kabul.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me, and I was working with United Nations. I was in big positions as well. I was deputy program manager for North Afghanistan. Somebody, they rang and they said that General Malik wanted to meet Mrs. Siddiqui, Rahela. I said, why General Malik should see me? I said, there is a very important document that you need to translate. I said, he has so many people, he's foreign affairs minister. People should translate for him. And my colleague was a young woman, a British woman, who was the head of the program. I was deputy, he was the head of the program. He told me that, Rahela, no problem, just go and see what they do. When I went there, all the people around the room in her receptions, with his secretary called Bashir or somebody, they were all with the star, the turban,
Yeah.
with all the gun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
All sitting in the room, and they were looking at me like this, and I was a fashionable woman, yeah. So it was not. I was young as well. But I didn't lose my morale. I just said, what is happening, Bashir Khan? He said, والله صاحب نمیفهمم جنرال صاحب گفت که شما کدام سند است باید ترجمه کنیم. چرا من ترجمه کنم؟ چرا خوش دیگه کس والا کدام سند مهم است باید شما ترجمه کنیم. خب اوکی. خب ما شدیم اونجا. I was sitting there and then they asked me that General asked you to come in. So I went in. As soon as I went in, General started to treat me. Said, Rahela, why did you go to a women Beijing conference? I said, because I'm working with United Nations, and I was invited to the Beijing conference, fourth women conference. He said, but you did go to Turkey as well? I said, yes, I did go to Habitat 2 conference. I was invited, so I went to Istanbul as well. You're not allowed to go anywhere anymore. Your passport will be blocked. And we will chase you up every day. I turned my face to him and said, General Seb Tashakur, I will obey the law, because the law is not what he says. So I said, whatever the law says, and I will obey the law. And he gets so frustrated, very angry, because I said I will obey the law. Then he said to me that, but you will not be able to go. The women or who are working with the foreign organizations, they are jasus, means spy. I said, okay, General Sahib, if the meaning of jasus means what means to yourself, to me, that means that I'm not the person to prefer the interest of other countries to my country. When I did this, and you see any evidence of myself, I will go to the door. Can you imagine? And when I went out of his office, I thought that, Rahela, with whom you're fighting and arguing. And my husband told me that, please don't, because they are gun people and you will never know that what will happen. I said what I said, and that was the situation that I should say to him. If he listened to me, he will definitely remember the same day, the same way that I spoke with him. When I went out of the office for 15 days until the Taliban came, because they were connected with the Taliban. General Malik was connected with the Taliban, and then the Taliban came to the country. Until the Taliban came, my God, I was chased up everywhere I was going with the UN car. And there was a day that I was in the Dasht Shur, they call it in Mazar Sharif, some places Dasht Shur. When I went there with my car was like Twitter, yeah? They were chasing up. And I thought, oh my God, if I come out the car, something may happen. So what I did, their car was something which may have had some problem.
Mm-hmm.
But so there was a Mazar is very muddy, and there was rain, and there was lots of mud. So when I went to the Sarakachal Matras, the graveling road, and I thought, okay, what you can do, Rahela? I was supposed to inform some of my community forum that some guest was coming. I just asked the driver, Dawood, I asked him to turn right. I said, Rais Sahib, you galasa, turn right. I said just like a Saipan Sap, yeah?
Yeah, just ordered him.
Yeah. Turn right. And he turned right. So I said, just go fast. And I said to Masood, my colleague, that be ready for the guest. And I said to the driver, go back. They came, they followed us, and they were slipped in the mud.
Oh, okay. Brilliant.
Yeah? So I ran away. And then I didn't come out of the office too much. I was working from the office. Then Taliban came, and they, again, General Malik was in power after killing so many of the Taliban, because there was a clash after he brought the Taliban in North Afghanistan. Then there was clash between them. Then he remained as a big person again in North Afghanistan, and he told that to all his colleagues to shut up all Rahela's activity, all the community fora everywhere. But I did not allow them, because I said, this is not my authority. You cannot close this. You have to go to the United Nations. So I wrote to the United Nations, to the UNDP. I said, can the deputy rep come to North Afghanistan? When he came, he said, what should I do, Rahela? I said, just tell them that this is not my authority. It cannot be given to the government, because it will be tomorrow. And I said to the Labor and Social, his representative, to the head of the Labor and Social Affairs lady, I said, tomorrow you're not in this chair. And do you know that everything from the government, from carton, chairs, everything will be looted when the situation change. And from my community forum, everybody take to their home, and when the situation gets settled, they can bring it back. So this is one incident. There are so many other incidents. This is one. This is in Afghanistan. When I came to UK, Oh my God. I was helping again my people and a
It's
woman.
actually, before you start, it's actually very fortunate that you came unscathed and unharmed from that incident.
Yeah,
And it's very scary.
very scary.
Yeah, you've been in the situation. The way you've explained it put fear in me right now.
But let me then tell you the next arrival of Taliban. That gave me to tell you another story. The next time of arrival of Taliban was 1998. I was still in North Afghanistan. At that time, all the foreigners left Afghanistan. So I'm the deputy program manager and in charge of the UN Habitat program in North Afghanistan, in Mazar Sharif. Taliban was supposed to come like maybe in a few days or few weeks, or broken the window, and they entered 1, 2, 3 people inside the room. I'm on the bed, and my husband screamed that who are they? Screamed basically. So all of a sudden they went to take her neck, and they pressed.
Try to throttle him.
And pressed that he was bleeding. Yes. So he was doing like this. And as soon as he started, I said, why you're killing him? Why you're killing him? And then this is God. I'm surprised at how I was able to say that. I said, I thought they are like looter. I said, whatever you want, just go and take. Why you're killing him? Wake up, why you were working with ICRC? You were working with ICRC? But the story was behind the story was myself, not him. For him, he was sad because of me. So as soon as I said, they came, they said, okay, come and go to the basement. So we went to the basement, and they were searching whatever stupid they were searching. They searched, but they didn't find any document or anything that they were thinking, probably because I did put nothing in my home for women program. Everything was in the office. I never brought inside because the situation was not good. And then they stayed there. I think they came like 1:30 and they left 4 o'clock. 6 o'clock, another group came.
You had a lot of visitors, uninvited.
Another group came. Oh, my deputy minister of education came with one more person. And that person was the person who was like مزنون مثل مزنون ور یک نفر که میایه شما پرسان میکنه که oh Rahela John, we wanted to help you. You're a woman, you're a deputy minister here, you're alone here. Do you need help? I wanted to help. But I knew that this person is not the right person. My colleague will talk to you. So they came, they said that, oh, but you didn't sign the contract. We heard that your house, somebody came into your houses. And I was thinking, it's such a stupid. And یعنی کسانی که هیچ یک احساس انسانی نداشته باشه که یک خانم هستی و در خانه زی نفرای مسلح آمده و در آمده و یا خود نفرایشان هستن دیگه. And he said to me that, can you tell us? I said, no, I don't know them. Okay, so you come at 2 o'clock to sign the contract in the office of the Minister of Education. I said, which contract I should sign? Oh, the contract of the printing press. You didn't sign the contract. I said, I'm not supposed to sign that contract. This is not my authority. یعنی خون دقیقه دست است دیگه. نمیفهمی که فردا چی میشه ولی من تا آخرین لحظه می چیزی که اصل دیگه میگم خواهمی. So I said, okay, I will come. So 2 o'clock I went to the office of the Minister of Education. They brought the contract. They said, you should sign it. I said, no, I'm not signing it. This is $100,000. As soon as I'm signing, they think that the money will come to them. It would not. But I didn't sign it. So the next day I have a flight to come to Islamabad and then to go to United States for a conference. I was on the plane, and the plane went up to 300 kilometers or whatever up. they called by their security the plane to come down. The plane come down.
That's how much power they had.
Yes, we are the government. The plane come down, and they say that.
And this is in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
They say you come up, you come out from the airplane. I looked my back. I said they are talking to somebody else. He said, no, you come down. As soon as I came down, I said, I was born. Yeah, I said the country that do not deserve people who are serving. This is not somewhere that they know the value of the services, because I brought the big printing press in Afghanistan, and because 44 people was working there, otherwise it would have been in Pakistan. The printing of all the education books would have been printed in Pakistan. I brought the printing press in North Afghanistan to be there, and then they wanted all the material that I should sign, and they show that the material came and the money would have gone to the pockets, and I didn't sign it. So I took off from the airplane, and I was born. And then the next day, the United Nations, they evacuated me with children and everybody because of the security situation.
Yeah, because they thought that you're pushing the boat too far could actually.
Yeah. How many more stories you need?
Yeah.
Do you need more story? There are so many other stories.
I think no. This is. But I don't know. I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. I don't think anybody else would have actually been doing this. This, to me, it feels like from a movie. You know, we've seen this in movies, like in, for example, Bollywood movies, most of the time, majority of the time. But now this is real life example, and it's not easy to go through things you have. So there's absolutely not a minuscule of doubt that you're such a brave woman.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. People who want to go on your journey, as a closing, what's your message to them?
They should set their life goal, and they should the principles for implementation of their goal. And that principle, I would suggest that they have to really be sincere, honest, responsible, hard worker, and result-based approach. Whenever they wanted to do something, either they shouldn't do it, or if they do it, they should do it with sincerity. And then they will have a result. And then they will enjoy. Yeah? So that is my concluding message.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming on my show, Rahela John. It was a pleasure to have you. To all our viewers, bravery comes at a cost. Although Rahela John has come unscathed and harmed physically, but emotionally, I'm sure it has dented her. But it's her courage, her bravery that has, brought her this far. And that's why we call this Raw Talk. And I would like you to keep the conversation going. Stay raw. Thank you very much.